Bulldogs, a 43-27 loss to Frisco Centennial 2 weeks ago, had their bye week last week. I'm joined by their head coach, Mike Fecci. And in that game a couple weeks ago, Coach, a tough Frisco Centennial team, a team that went deep in the playoffs last year, a very tough opponent. And in the end, you're able to play a very good second half to keep the game relatively close.
We were. We didn't come out really ready to play from the word go. And then like you said, we got in there at halftime. We were able to make some adjustments and played a much cleaner and better second half and got some stops and scored some points. And what was nice about that was we came out in the second half and answered the call there. And it wasn't that Frisco went in there and did anything different or put backups in. We were still playing against the starters, but played much, much better, tackled much better, moved the ball, controlled the clock much better. Second quarter is where it kind of got away from us. We didn't play a very clean second quarter, and it's the same thing we did Prosper week was we kind of lost it there in the second quarter. So those are some things in this off week we've addressed and talked about coming out of the gate faster and being ready to play from the word go.
We'll go ahead and take a look at those highlights now from the game. And in that first quarter, you do take the lead after Frisco Centennial was up 6-0, missed an extra point. Ronald Jones comes in with a nice touchdown run, and he had another nice night, 99 yards on 12 carries and 2 touchdown scores in the game.
He had a good night. This was his first run. This opened up the deal for us offensively, and he pops a big run on us. And, they quickly made an adjustment on their defense right after that first play to try to take some of that stuff away. Dutzy does a good job here. They pin us on a punt deep, and he's able to throw a big completion to Curvin to get us out from the goal line. And, Ronald had a great night. 99 yards on 12 carries is a good night and 2 touches. Here's one of his. It's a really good move he puts on right there. And then, of course, the balance right there again. I mean, he's had a good preseason and with limited amounts of carries by design. And as I was telling before the show, that'll increase this week. Terrell Davis makes a good play for us here back-to-back times on this swing pass.
Yeah, it's important to keep Ronald Jones fresh, as you said, moving forward. Don't want him to get hurt. Defensively, what did Frisco Centennial show on offense, and how did you adjust to that throughout the game?
The Cordova kid's very talented. I mean, he doesn't need much room to complete balls, and that's what they did to us. They were able to run the ball effectively, a lot more effectively than we thought they'd be able to. Part of that was a little bit of scheme. A lot of it was us not making open field tackles. But again, they're a good offense. They're big up front. They're very well coached, and they do things right. And it's good for us to play people like that.
And Centennial in the second quarter pulled away to a 26-7 lead. Early on, or in that third quarter, you get that second touchdown run from Ronald Jones. It cut the lead to 12 at that point, 26-14. From that point, what really happened in the game to where you weren't able to close the gap even further?
Well, part of it was when we needed to make a stop, we didn't make it defensively, and then we stalled out offensively there for a while too. And it's kind of a telltale sign of the week before where we got to make more stops defensively. We got to make more stops. There's no getting around that. And offensively, we just got to be more consistent as the ball game goes. Granted, we've scored a lot of points in the last 2 weeks. But we've also given up a lot of points. And we just got to play more consistent football from top to bottom. And, our message to our kids, that's what these games are for. You could be 3-0 and no one cares, and you could be 0-3 and nobody cares because district season, what matters. And that's what we're into now. And that's what we're excited about. We had a great off week and ready to go from there.
What did you think of your quarterback play from both Gabe Constantine, who had a lot of work in the first quarter, and you used him a lot in that quarter, and also Ben Dutzy, who at the end of the night had a pretty decent stat line, had 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, he's doing well. Both of them are doing well. They're both progressing along like we want them to. Granted, they both have made mistakes, but that's what they're going to do. But at the same time, they're both progressing along at the rate we want them to, and both making good decisions, and both each week getting a little more firm grasp on what we're trying to do offensively, and they're both great leaders, and we're going to need them coming up in these next 7 weeks.
You used Gabe a lot more in the slot than you have in the previous games. That was his position. He played for the most part last year at wideout, and he caught a touchdown pass.
Yeah, he played well for us at slot. He's a bigger bodied kid. He's a strong physical kid that you can put out there at the slot and catch the football well. He's a great blocker, and we'll do that more with him and use him in lots of different areas. And it's nice to throw a big-bodied kid out there that can be physical in that area out there for us, and he did a good job of that.
Now, you mentioned earlier your run defense. You were a little surprised at how well Centennial ran the ball. The quarterback, Cordova, had 3 rushing touchdowns himself. Also, Burnett, the running back, with a touchdown as well. What do you think you need to shore up as far as the run defense? What is it that is the problem right now with stopping guys like that?
Sure. Part of the problem is we overrun stuff a lot. What I mean by that is our linebackers coming from inside out overrun things a lot, and when people cut back, that's a bad deal. We're just not getting our pad level down up front. Defensive line wise. Again, the off week was really, really good for us at the right time for us to. We're able to slow down and go all the way back to, okay, this is how you take on a double team. This is how you blow up the counter. This is how you run inside out to this play. And when you have a whole lot of 1-2, you're going to overrun some plays from time to time, which is what we did. And at the same time, we're playing good people. We're playing people that score lots of points. Centennial they're going to score points. Prosper,
every
they're
week.
going to score points every week. Prosper played last week, and I think they played Mansfield Timberview, and I think they won 59-41 or something like that. So Prosper's going to score lots of points, Centennial's going to score lots of points. We just got to play better up front, and we'll start doing that. We've had a really good off week and a really good week, and we're going to start playing better up front.
And Prosper playing Mansfield Lake Ridge last week.
Yeah.
I only know that because I have the broadcast of Lake Ridge and Red Oak this upcoming week. Going up against Frisco Centennial, I said, they have a lot of talented athletes, and you're going to see that in district. You have Sherman coming up here on a Thursday night to open up district play at home, though. How much is that home crowd advantage going to give you?
I think it's huge. I mean, there's some places in our district when you go play is a very, very distinct advantage. Sherman's one, Denison's one. When you go to those two places on the road, it's nothing like anywhere else that you go. I call it the twilight zone sometimes. You can get up there and get real lost in a hurry. But having Sherman at home is huge for us. We've had tremendous crowd support for the first 3 ball games. Our student body is 100% behind what we're doing. Our administration and faculty and our parents are coming out to the games, and you can hear them, and they're excited, and they're cheering, they're getting after it. And, so for us to play at Ron Post Stadium, get back there, be in our own backyard on a Thursday night, something we're used to open up district, it's awesome. And we're just so happy that we have the support we have right now.
Sherman's 1-2 coming to this game this year. They got blown out in a non-district game against Highland Park. Highland Park really put it on them. They still have some good athletes. Trey Mask is back. He's a talented player. But they don't have the same guy running the strings, pulling the strings at quarterback as they did last season. New quarterback in a new system. So how is that going to look?
Well, the thing is they're coming off an off week too. So all the things that everybody knows were their issue, they've worked on as well. I'll be anxious to see how far they progressed in the week that they were off. But you're right, Trey Mask is the key to what they do. Trey Mask is a very big physical running back that plays a lot of spots. We've seen him play running back. We've seen him play the offside running back. We've seen him play slot. We've seen him play outside receiver where he was the other night for one play, and they threw him the fade against Highland Park for their only touchdown. We've seen him play quarterback. He's played quarterback out in the open field and down on the goal line. So he's a good football player, and you got to know where he is at all times. Up front on their offensive line, they got giant guys. They got the one kid his name's leaving me right now, but he's going to Texas. He's already committed to Texas, big offensive tackle. And they do what they do. They've got 2 kids that have played quarterback, with the exception of when Mask does it. One kid runs the ball real well, and he's real physical and tough, and the other kid throws the ball well. So, you got to prepare for all things. And like I said, we got to worry about us. It's us that's got to get better and go out and execute what we do and come out of there with a win.
In that bye week, when you're doing so much coaching with the kids, both on offense and defense, what were they saying back to you? What was their feedback from all the coaching that they received?
Oh, I think it's good feedback. I mean, our kids, one thing about our kids is they know how to work. Our kids know how to work. They work their tails off at practice, and they take coaching like they need to take it. And so when you're able to slow down like that, I think what it does is it reaffirms what they already kind of knew. And if they got a question, they can ask, and they can say, well, what about when I see this or see that? You're not necessarily granted that time during a regular game week, because you're trying to not only get fundamentals in, but also then in turn say, okay, here's what our opponent does, and you're going to get these reps, and you're going to be at a high tempo, and it's very fast, and it's very fast-paced. And when you're in an off week, I had 40 minutes of individual time with my defensive tackles the other day, which is unheard of. And I was able to really slow things down and really walk through things and really to where they kind of get a little firmer grasp on what we're trying to get out of them, what we try them to want to do. And so it was really good. But our kids, I'll tell you what, our kids are tremendous. They're bought in. They believe in what we're doing. They believe in each other. They're in a good place right now mentally. And I expect us to start off on Thursday with making a statement and then make a run at this thing.
Obviously, it's just the first game of district play. It's going to start out the rest of your district schedule. But is there a big difference in your mind between going 1-0 in district to start off and going 0-1?
Absolutely. Absolutely there is. And that's exactly what I told them today. In our meeting, I said, guys, after this week and week 10 are the only weeks that there is a distinct difference. After this week, 4 teams are going to be 1-0, 4 teams are going to be 0-4. At week 10, 4 teams are going to go to the playoffs, 4 teams are going home. I said, we need to put ourselves in that upper echelon of this thing and be 1-0 and then stay there because we can. And we talked about that today, about how starting off district at 1-0 really sets the table. It doesn't mean you're going to make the playoffs or anything like that, but it does put you on the side of the bracket that you want to be on and stay on. And our kids, like I say, they're very excited about it. We're excited about it. It's going to be a fun night and fun atmosphere.
It's going to be a 7 o'clock kickoff Thursday night. Coach, looking forward to it, and good luck.
We are too. Thank you.
McKinney North Bulldogs playing Sherman in their district opener, a game the Bulldogs would like to win. Sherman made the playoffs last year, went a couple rounds deep. If McKinney North can beat that team, looking like it may be a run for the Bulldogs this year in the playoffs.